Slime Pack, what is up? Got on my trucker headset since I've been out here like trucking. Christy Wombats, what's up? Well, let me tell you. I'm still out here thugging it out without this bunk heater working. And boy, last night that shit got down to like 16, 17 degrees. I was fine until I broke the seal on them, on that, what's the $50 for, Wombats? Sean from PA out there hauling them horses and stuff. I know you're not talking about the headset bet. That's if you see me outside the truck with the headset, and that's $100 if anybody ever sees that. Yeah, so last night I'm out there in shit, I don't remember where I was at. Yeah, no, that's outside the truck, and that's $100. So yeah, I'm out there, got everything set up because I got this real, nice sleeping bag. Yeah, okay. But I got this real nice, like, low temperature sleeping bag. Then I got this other thin one. Then I got this other blanket. So I was doing pretty good throughout the night. And then I got up and got them covers off me. And boy, that was a mistake right there. But they gave me this load, and this is part of this whole thing, man. They've been running me like way harder than I'm really wanting to run right now. I mean, it's gonna be a monster. I don't want any more loads. I don't care if they drop this week or whatever. I just want to get a load and just chill out, or not get a load and chill out. But Sunday, well, what's today? I'm mixed. Okay, so today's Monday. Yeah, so getting these days mixed up. But I dropped off a load in Chicago. Yeah, so that had to be. Let me take a look at my load so I'm not lying. Yeah, so it started with the load that I picked up that dropped in basically Chicago. So it's like, what day is that? It's like Sunday morning when I dropped that load off. And, I sit at the receiver for a while. Now, this is the only reason that I'd even care about that load choice, because I'm making enough money to where that's not even a issue. But not knowing what's coming up next. So, I deliver at that Jewel Osco Albertsons in Melrose Park, Illinois. So I sit around for a while, like 10 minutes at the receiver, doing some shit. Not thinking I got another load coming, or waiting for another load. And then I'm like, okay, there ain't no load, so let me just go ahead and get out of here. Now, I had a couple choices with get out of here, man. With what I was gonna do, because I was gonna need a washout. Now we have a intermodal terminal over there in Bedford Park, Illinois, and that place is a clusterfuck. So I was like, I don't want to deal with that. So I decided to go to Monet, Illinois. There's a Blue Beacon out there. Plus, when that's done, they had a Petro. So I was just gonna post up there. So I'm on my way there, and I get a load, and I'm trying to listen to it on the Qualcomm and everything, and I hear enough of it saying that it's picking up in Chicago, and it's picking up at 0800, and it's right now 7:15. I've already driven like 35 miles in the wrong direction to go get this washout. So I let them know I'm not going to be there on time, and they're saying, well, you really need this load, just when can you get there? And I was like, I know this shipper, and they charge for being late. And I said, I'm not paying no late fee. So if you guys are fine with that, I'll show up. But I'm telling you, I'm not paying no late fee. And, you know, I really don't want to be worried about getting reimbursed and all that kind of stuff. So they're like, just get there, we'll handle it. So I'm like, all right, I get there. They're going to charge me the late fee. Cool ass Mexican dude, though. I was kind of, you know, just shooting the shit with him. And I was like, man, I can't believe these people got me. Not you, but I can't believe my company put me in a position to come out here and pay this late fee. You know, I just got this, you know, whatever. And he's like, man, just get in Dock 9. I'll handle it. So I'm like, cool. So it was a small lineage place. I think I was the only truck there. I was loaded in like 25 minutes. Why is my only ear covered? Well, technically, as a driver, I'm supposed to have one ear free anyway. So that's why I got that. M. Dot, do I believe in love at first sight? That's a hard one to say. I think a lot of times when people fall in love at first sight, they fall out of love just as fast. So I don't really know. So anyway, so I get that load, and that load is going to Gas City. Now, like I said, I really wasn't wanting that load anyway, but at least it was a drop in Gas City, 3 miles, or like, how many miles was that load? It was 184 miles, so 3 hours to get there. I didn't know it was a drop and hook, but it was like, get there when you get it there. So I got there, it was a drop and hook, boom. So that's cool. So now I'm like, I'm gonna get a chance to chill. Now I know they aren't gonna give me no load tonight, or they probably won't even have me planned till the next morning. So anyway, I'm sitting there just about to lay down, and I get this pre-plan. Now, I picked up this trailer. I could tell it wasn't clean, but I wasn't sure how dirty it was, and it was just a little too cold for me to get out there and worry about it when I picked it up. So I'm thinking I need to get potentially a washout, and I get the load. It's saying pick it up at 0500 hours and all this kind of stuff, and my hours weren't going to come back until 3 in the morning. The washout was like 50 miles away, so it was going to take 2 hours. Let's just break it down like that to get the washout. So I'm again sending them. I can't get there on time. And then my fleet manager's like, it's preloaded. You know, when do you think you can get there? And I was like, well, if it's preloaded, man, let's just make it 0900 so I ain't got no stress. So I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm thinking about this trailer, and I was like, man, it sure would be nice to be able to sleep in if I don't need to get this trailer done. So middle of the night, I get out there, open up the trailer, look in there, and it's pretty much, it's just got a little bit of bullshit in it. Some wood scraps, maybe some of that like nylon wrap or whatever. And I was like, cool. Got all that stuff out of there. So then I was able to go to sleep. Now, my day gets a little more interesting when I finally wake up. So I get out there, and I'm just like not really paying attention. My head's not in the game like it normally is. And I pick up at that interstate place across from Nestle in Anderson, Illinois. I found my channel through Mother Trucker. I didn't know that I would have ever been on that channel. So you're talking about Mother Trucker at Prime. Hey, congratulations on coming to the Ink. Like I said, the money is still great. Family atmosphere, like I said, you build your own family atmosphere, but it's not like one big family like it used to be. But you can't miss what you've never been a part of, so you'll be fine. So anyway, I get out to this shipper. First of all, I go to the wrong location. I'm not paying attention. I go to the old Nestle place, and they're not allowing me to pull through and make a U-turn. I was like, this motherfucker here. So I'm like, all right. So I back out, get out of there, finally go to the right shipper. I see a guy that that watches my channel at Prime. He was like, yeah, I knew when you went in there, we were probably going to the same place. I'd never been to this other place. So anyway, we're talking. He kind of tells me what's going on and everything. They're like, okay, go back there, slide your tandems, back it into here, you know, somewhere around here, and here's your other trailer. Boom. So I go back there, drop the trailer. I forget to slide my tandems. So I'm like, fuck. So I back under the trailer, but I didn't remember to let my air back up in my truck. So I jumped my fifth wheel, which Freightliner could be seriously dangerous because their catwalk isn't that long. So if you ever see a bunch of Freightliners with dents in the back of their truck or satellites, that's probably what happened. So I back up, jump my fifth wheel. So now I'm like, fuck. It's cold outside. I got to mess with this. So got out there, pushed down the fifth wheel handle, put a bottle under the skid plate, and lowered or raised up my trailer, pulled up out of there. You know, it was just a mess. Then I finally get all that handled, slide the tandems, go pick up my trailer. Try to move my tandems because I was in the far, you know, I was in the, my tandems were all the way to the rear. Tandems aren't moving, all this kind of stuff. The pins were in. So I don't know if it was just the cold or whatever, but I got back there with some silicone spray and sprayed those all up. In the meantime, when I'm trying to get the tandems to move, now my clutch is overheating. So I'm just like, you know, let me just take a break. You know, so anyway, I finally got that done. And I'm about 15 miles away. I hate these loads where they give you, because if I'd have picked it up at 05 this morning, it delivers at 4 p.m. tonight, or 4:15 or something like that. You know, you're just burning up random time in the middle of the day. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm sitting out here. I'm about to leave out probably at about, I think my drop-off is at, let me make sure, because I will. All right, Washington Courthouse at 4:15 p.m. So I'm 14 miles away, so I'll probably leave it. I'm not sure I want to get there an hour early. I might want to roll up there like right on time and see if I can get some of that detention. So I don't know. I'll be leaving here in just a little bit. And I do not want to load after this one until the next day. I need a chance to relax, boy. And what I think has happened is so many trucks were stuck up in the Northeast with all that snow or something, to where there's just too much of this freight that some of those people aren't able to get to or something. I don't know. But I haven't really ran like this since, like, I don't think I've had back-to-back loads like this in like a couple of years, and I'm really not all that happy about it. Let's see, you know, because I'd really like to chill out. AN saw a couple of Trans Am trucks pulling Prime trailers. I think I've seen 4 of them so far. One when I delivered in Colorado, and I was on my way out east, and they were heading west, so I was like, good for them, better them than me. And then I saw a couple other ones since then. I don't remember where, but I've been seeing a lot of like long-nosed Pete's pulling Prime trailers. I think I've seen 2 of them lately, so they must have enough freight to be putting it out on the low board or something. So this has been a good, you know, I finally made up my mind to just take my ass home for it'll probably be, if everything works out, I mean over Christmas, but either way I'm probably going to take about 23 days off here in a little bit, because this week set me up real nice to do that. I'm not happy with the running, but I'm happy about the money. But I was just thinking about some old shit. Old people stuff. Let's see, my reefer was on continuous. The engine kept stalling. RA said it's fine. Shamarcus, what's up, man? Just out here living that stress-free lifestyle. What is it? I'm not going to get no other load in on this. I don't even want one. Even if they were like, maybe if it was like a real super short load, like I pick back up in Gas City, or not Gas City, but Washington Courthouse, and take it somewhere close by, I might want to do it. But it's what, Monday, and I'm like sitting on $6,000 right now, just a tad under by like $37. So that's going to work out good. I don't necessarily, I'm not even going to talk about this that much because I don't want to get too much into it. But I don't really want these goddamn cameras. But I gotta get to this terminal and get that bunk heater fixed, boy, because I've been thugging it out at night, boy. I've been out there at night with the hoodie on and like 2 sleeping bags and a blanket. 1 thin sleeping bag, 1 thick one. Michael, how long have I been with Prime? I started in Prime in the training process March 5th, I believe, 2019. Got my CDL in April 1st, 2019. Got on my first trainer's truck April 10th. Got off of that truck within like 10 days. Got with my second trainer, stayed on his truck until like November. Signed my first lease, my regular lease, December 11th. So I'll be out there in Springfield on my first anniversary of my first lease. Are they taking care of you? Are you happy? Trucking is trucking, right? There's some people that like trucking. I'm one of those people that I don't get up in the morning. I'm just like, oh, it's a beautiful day to be driving. Like, I don't really, it's a job. Like, I ain't one of these lifestyle truckers and, lives and, I mean, I live it because I got to be out here, but I ain't one of these guys that's all about, liking to drive and doing all this bullshit. So I'm about as happy as you can be. As far as the money's concerned, I think I don't really get into it all that often, but there are a couple people that are at another competitor's company that's trying to act like they're making all the dough, and I'm just telling you, this check I'm gonna be pulling in with that. I still got a truck payment for 3 more payments, I believe. With that truck payment, I think I'm about this week, and not last week, but the week before that. So we'll probably make more in these 1 checks than both them guys together. And I only say that because they've been throwing some shade. All right, Shamarcus, APU's acting up too. It's not my APU, it's my bunk heater. My APU is strong. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go out to the terminal. I'm not gonna be in no hurry to get out. I'm gonna be in a hurry to get home. I'm probably gonna have them put me on 1 load, and then after that load delivers, get me home. Or I might just go home right away. But well, I guess it's not as big of a deal. If I wasn't gonna go home, I was probably gonna go over to Fire and Ice and do my thing over there. But if I'm going right home, I don't necessarily need to worry about that. Steve and Sherry, what is up? I'm just... Merry Christmas to you too. My boy Josh, if he sees this video, he just sent me a bottle of whiskey. As a matter of fact, I need to have my wife take a picture. I think it's bourbon. Take a picture of that and send it to me so I know what I got to look forward to. And then when I go home this time, because I'm going to be home for a while, I'm going to go bourbon shopping, and I'm going to be looking for the highest proof bourbon I can find. Within, like, I ain't going to be going too crazy on it. Maybe, I don't know what I'll spend on that, but the highest proof bourbon I can find, maybe somewhere in that 127, 130 something range. Then the oldest bourbon I can find. And then, forgot what the other one was going to be. Anyway, my wife was maybe going to start working in the, she quit her job doing IT in the mortgage industry a couple years ago. Went to work at Costco, and she kind of likes that a little bit, but she might be working in the liquor department here pretty soon. So if she does that, that'll make it good. I could send her there with a list. But anyway, I was talking about the old people shit. I was talking to somebody, and they were like 35 years old, and I was like, Jesus Christ, 35 years old. And I started thinking about the difference between 35 and 56. That's a long time. And I just started thinking about all the old shit, or all the shit that people that are in my age group. Like, think about this. I was born in 1968. Black people weren't even allowed to vote till 1965. So that was only 3 years before I was even born. You know what I mean? Black and white TVs were still lingering around. I even think my dad was in the electronics and furniture business, and we even had a black and white TV lingering around in our house until like 1978 or 79. I mean, we had color TVs too, but I mean, that was still around in the house. Like, I'd be in high school, and there was like a smoking section, and there'd be teachers and students smoking in the smoking section, going to clubs in like 1987, drinking age 18 years old. You'd be at the club on a, they had a Wednesday night Penthouse Pet Search was the theme of that, and you'd be at the club and running into your teacher. Then you go in the next day, and they're like, I know why you're tired. So a lot of old shit, man. A lot of stuff like people wouldn't even believe, especially younger people. Like young people, they wouldn't even remember shit. Man, you go in the hospital and a doctor be in there diagnosing you with cancer with a cigarette. Or you'd be in the supermarket and there'd be like cigarette butts all smashed into the aisles. Lyle, did you have rabbit ears for your TV? The funny thing about this, I did. When I was younger. But we were like one of the first people to get cable in my neighborhood. So we got away from the rabbit ears before most people did. And back then, before there was cable, all there was in my town was 2, 6, 4, 7, 9, and 12. Those were your only channels. So basically ABC, NBC, CBS, and then I forget what the one channel was. But shit, you didn't have no choices. Now, one thing I do miss nowadays with Netflix and all that kind of stuff is before you had to catch the TV show. Or you could even find TV shows because you're just like, there ain't nothing else to watch. So you just start watching something. Then you're like, oh, you know what? I like this. It's just not like that anymore. So youngins wouldn't know nothing about that, some of that stuff. Yep. Everybody that's watching this, if you want to, hey, put down in the, if you feel comfortable, put down in the comment section what year you were born. '74, '60. All right. Well, yeah, Big H Trucking. He's older than me. Big H Trucking, my man. Shit. I still think about the stuff that you just went through. 1970, 74. The only reason I remember 1974 is the weirdest memory ever. Was my sister was born in 1974, and I think she started crying, and I remember my mom getting up to feed her or whatever, and they were baking them like cinnamon rolls, and I just remember smelling them cinnamon rolls. So I think I was like 5 years old or 4 years old when that happened or something. 1996. That was 1996 was a good year as far as music and going out to clubs and doing all that kind of stuff. I was working at one of those dealerships that had to jack everything up. But that was a good year. 1981, I remember that because that was the year my mom died. I remember she died June 1st, and I believe that it was the Philadelphia 76ers. I was a big Dr. J fan. As a matter of fact, I wore my leather Dr. J's. That was my shoes back in the day. And I remember the pastor coming over, and my dad wasn't yet a pastor. And he came over to do whatever they do, and I just remember being almost in a daze just watching this basketball game. 1984, the year I got my first job at Burger King, and I worked at Burger King. You know, I didn't have on the old uniform, but I had on the polyester, like orange, like corduroy looking shit. With man, that was that was still one of my favorite jobs ever. I'm not saying I would want to go back and do that job, but man, that was a fucking good job, especially for a teenager. And the funny thing about it, here's how I ended up getting that job, was my dad drops me off at the mall, and he's like, it was time to go get some school clothes and all that stuff. So he gives me like $300 to go buy these school clothes and stuff like that. And he comes and picks me up at the mall, and I don't really have any clothes. And he's like, why don't you have any clothes? What were you doing in there? I was like, $300 isn't enough to buy anything. And, you know, back then you had to look cool. You know, what was cool back then was like, you know, a lot of it. You know, you old guys remember Chess King and Merry-Go-Round and Jeans West. Anyway, that kind of clothes. Plus, you had like the Izod and Polo and all that stuff. Anyway, so I tell my dad, that's not enough money. He's like, okay, we'll come back tomorrow. So we go back the next day. He gives me like $600. I got all these clothes and everything, and I'm thinking I'm the shit. And on the way home, he's like, well, it looks like it's about time for you to get a job. So he pulled into this Burger King, and it's like, go in there and get a job application. So that was how I ended up getting that job, because I was like not looking to work at that time. And that was probably one of the best things. I mean, that was like so liberating, because once I got that job, I didn't ask for shit. Laundry detergent, personal hygiene shit, curl activator. I wasn't asking for nothing. I mean, I was on my own as far as spending money. The only thing that they did between that time, when I was 14 and a half and going to the Marines, was put a roof over my head. I paid for everything else. Buy my first car, 1969 Dodge Charger. Everything. 1977. I don't really remember much from 1977, but 1976, I remember selling those candy bars, world's famous chocolate bars, right? My mom used to work at Xerox back in the day, and she would go sell all these candy bars, and I was trying to win the Evel Knievel jacket. I don't remember if I got the Evel Knievel jacket or not. Rakesh, what is up, man? James wearing me out, man. I didn't count up the miles, but it's been nonstop, and I don't know if if freight at Prime picked up all that much. I just think there's too many trucks that were trapped up there in the Northeast doing their thing that the Midwest got a little overloaded with freight. So I've been out here just running a little bit harder than I wanted to. Like I literally wanted to call James and act like I was like a slave in Roots, and I'd be like, I was tired, boss. You got to get up off me. Lyle, did you have a wood stove? No, I didn't have no wood stove. But when I did get out on my own, once I got out of the Marines, me and my one boy that's a truck driver started driving in 1994. We got an apartment together, and boy, if I could go back and take pictures of that apartment, because like we had even just talking about the bathroom, our bathroom theme colors was orange and green. And not only did we have just the orange and green towels, we had the toilet seat thing where you put the little furry thing on top of the seat, and then the orange or the little furry thing that you put on the floor. Oh man, we was just wrong, boy. But we were so broke. I wish I could get him on here. I mean, I've called him a couple times, and we spoke about a few stories on, while I was on a live, but we were so broke, we would go out to happy hours, and then we would smuggle as many plates and forks and spoons and cups and whatever we could out of there. Everything we had was just all mismatched. We had every different kind of fork you could have, no matching plates or anything like this, every random. And there was a time that we were both dating these girls, and we used to go to these Chinese buffets and take in these big gulp cups and fill up the big gulp cups, and then they'd take them out in their purse so we'd have some stuff for later. I mean, it was bad. We used to give plasma 2 times a week to make extra money. So those were the good old days. Can't skip the struggle. Yep. Sharky Edwards, keep pushing, man. I want to stop pushing. That's what I need to do because I'm tapped out. Like I said, I got. Let me make sure.
You have 4 hours and 16 minutes of remaining drive time.
Yeah, I got 4 hours, 16 minutes left on my 70. So, I don't know how many hours I got or how many miles I got. I don't think I'll end up with 3,400 miles, which would trigger an audit by our logs department. Which I think I'm fine on, but they could nitpick the shit out of anything. But going back to Steve Sherry, let's see. He was born in 70, so you probably saw this too. Don't think we didn't have the Harvest Gold refrigerator, stove, and all that stuff in dishwasher in the kitchen. That was like the colors back then. Harvest Gold, avocado green. And we did have an orange shag carpet. That shit was cool. They should bring that back. Them shag carpets back in the days, those were sweet. And we did have the conversion van, not the one with the well, I can't even explain it. Those of you guys live in the 70s would know what I'm talking about. Glad you found the place earlier. Hopefully they don't take forever unloading us. Okay, so Heck Rod was out there. I don't know if you were in here earlier, man, but my head just wasn't in the game when I got out there. The reason it took me so long to do everything when I was there was I forgot to slide the tandems after I'd already hooked up to the truck or unhooked from the truck. So now I got to hook back up to the truck, slide the tandems. I forgot to raise the air back in my truck. So when I backed up under it, I jumped the fifth wheel. Jumped the skid plate. So now I got to get out there, flatten out the fifth wheel, put a bottle of water, put a bottle under it, and then raise up the trailer and get from under that. I mean, it was just a mess. So, hey, Heck, where are you at? I'm up here at this Love's, this like 15 miles away on I-35 or not I-35, US 35 and 71. Steve Sherry, yep, them old ice trays, especially them real old ones that were metal and you had to pull the like little metal thing up. But we were also probably one of the first people to get like a ice maker in the refrigerator back in the day. So I didn't deal with that too often. Yeah, that was... Yeah, Heck, that's what I was dealing with out there at that shipper this morning. So not only did I go to the wrong gate, I go to the regular Nestle place. This girl in there wouldn't let me pull in there and turn around. So now I got to back out and do all this crazy stuff. I mean, just you know what? Anyway, so I had to do all that, and it was fine. All right, so you stopped at the TA. I'm a TA fan. I was about to stop at that TA. I went and got a shower at the Loves in like Dayton, Ohio, which was probably a mistake. I should have just done it here, but man, I was at that point where they were just running me too hard. I actually needed to get a shower. Rakesh, did I get a camera yet? I'm only going to speak on this just for a second because every time I talk about this, I end up having to... No, I haven't got the camera yet. I'll be getting my camera on the 11th. But wouldn't it be nice for those of us at Prime? You know what? They're focused. Man, I'm about to get into this again. All I would wish is that they just come up with one thing to make lives for drivers easier. Cut the whole time for live load calls down. I'm not even asking for really anything. Don't let live load calls take forever. Throw us a bone on something. But yeah, I'm not gonna be going too in on that situation. But yeah, let's see. What, that's crazy. The first time I did the same thing, I'm thinking I was at Nestle, but I feel you. I'm thinking of getting a reserve spot here since it's close, because all I have is short load after short. Yeah, I'm not paying for no damn parking. I think there's too much parking around here for me to worry about reserving a spot anywhere. And with the DC close by, there's always gonna be trucks coming and going anyway. So, if I got to, I'll just go over there when I'm done getting unloaded. I may go over there close to the appointment time just to see if I could get up on some free detention. All right, later, Steven. What is the purpose of live load calls anyway? You know what? It can catch some stuff. So, is it worth doing a live load call and holding up all your drivers for that one out of every 300 loads that it catches? I don't know. So a lot of times, okay, a lot of times a reason for a live load call would be, I do a live load call. Before, they used to ask you what your weights were. So we're doing the live load call, and the load's supposed to be 40,000 pounds, and I say, you know what, I'm only, my truck's only like 28 on the front, 25 on the back, so then I said that knowing that there could be a problem with it, but a lot of times that's how they were catching things, was just the weights and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying there's not a purpose for it, and I don't have a problem with it. Just answer the phone, especially at night. Boy, you'll be out there on hold, and it depends on who the fleet manager is or who happens to be on or whatever. Sometimes I'll just send in a message. This is to serve as my live load call. Here's all the information. Please confirm. Most of the time it's fine. You get that one, live load call Nazi fleet manager that's like, you need to call. And I'm like, well, or you need to call in the live load thing. I was like, well, that's going to require somebody to answer the phone. I'll call 200 miles down the road. I'll be like, you know what? I'm out. I'll call you when I get stopped. So that's about it. All right, so my boy, one of my old drivers, Rakesh, is in here. He went and worked for Cowan, then they went and got bought out by Schneider. Whatever that situation is, hope that goes down well. I was hearing that Trans Am pulling Prime Freight, somebody was telling me that they have two dispatchers, a Trans Am dispatcher and a Prime dispatcher, and a driver got dispatched on two separate loads. So I don't know how that's going to work. I was just trying to see what Trans Am drivers were like. I was watching this girl that drives for Trans Am, and she was acting like she had a hard time being on time, and like it was kind of hard doing all this. I was like, boy, You better get that corrected if you're going to be pulling some of this Prime shit. I can tell you that for sure. Rakesh, I'm not really too much into this new music these days. I did listen to the one song that he had that was out there about Drake and all that, but I'm still old school. You know what I'm saying? Give me some 1990 or 1988 to 1997 as far as if we're just going to be specifically talking about rap music. This new stuff, even the people that they say are good, I just can't deal with. So no, I did not listen to that. I don't know. Hey, everybody has their reasons on why. See, I was hearing some stuff about this like a long time ago, like maybe the last time I was in the terminal. I don't remember when that was. But I overheard some talk about this, and I didn't know much about, like, I couldn't put two and two together. But then when we moved into the Navajo drop yard or terminal in Denver, that's who I thought they were talking about. So I was thinking it was going to be Navajo that we ended up doing whatever we were doing with. So when I heard Trans Am, that came out of nowhere. So I don't know. Everything is heck, Rod, finally heard back from Walmart. Got a phone interview scheduled. I don't hate it here, but just need to be closer to my son. Listen, I'm telling you, Walmart right now. Listen, nobody was really going to Walmart back a few years ago until they dropped some of that, because they had all the stupid shit at Walmart. Nothing's really changed, but they got rid of all the dumb stuff. They got rid of the cameras. They got rid of the no phone policy with headset on. Once they did that, boom, now everybody's over there. One of my boys, just, go check out his channel. Truck Money BG is one. I was really happy that he got that job. Trucker Crespo, he's over there, Prime. Then you got Gonzo. Like, Walmart is now the new destination for Prime drivers. That's what it looks like. Because, who was I talking to? Somebody said their old student. Oh yeah, that was Truck Money BG. So one of his old students is over there at Walmart now. And I think a lot of the people that, Walmart has a pretty high fail rate when you go through their little onboarding thing. And I think that Prime drivers do really well at that onboarding, because a lot of it comes down to that pre-trip. And that pre-trip that most of us memorized when we were going through training, I don't know about other places, but I know that our pre-trip was pretty in-depth. So as long as you could kind of remember that, you should be good to go. Hey, but good luck over there. If, with the paid-off truck, I think I'll be able to do what I want to do, and the money should be good enough that it wouldn't make sense for me to go to Walmart. But if I lived in if I lived in Texas, or like, let's say Tennessee, or, some of them places, I'd probably, that would probably be a good move. All right, Rakesh, is Junior Hondo still at Prime? Maybe I should call you later to catch up. Hey, Junior is still at Prime. I just spoke to him maybe about 3 weeks ago. So yeah, he's still at Prime. I mean, as of at least 3 weeks ago. Yep, got to have a clean record to get on a Walmart. And you know, Walmart is. I would really suggest that for younger people. Like if I had like 20 more years of work or something like that, that's one of those places where you go there, you set up your little 401k, they match it, they do all that, and then in 21 years, boom, you're good to go. You know, I'm not sure that from what I've been seeing that the money is really, well, I don't think it's definitely not going to be any more than what I'll be making, or actually, but all them benefits and stuff like that, especially, I don't have to worry about the health insurance and all that stuff because my wife has it handled. But those are things you got to think about if you're going to be responsible and shit like that, or if you got a family. If you're working, I don't know what other trucking companies are like. If you're leasing at Prime or any company, them healthcare benefit, that insurance is not that cheap. And Walmart has cheap healthcare, all that stuff. I never looked at the Prime healthcare stuff or whatever, but I heard that is a bit more than what I would expect. So yeah, that's a long play move right there, going to Walmart. That's not you're just gonna go out there, make a lick, and look for your next job and look for your next job and look for your next job. That's where you go there and you're gonna look like you're delivering my mail in that uniform, but stick it out there. It's a good move. You have to look at the Walmart pre-trip like you're still in trucking school. Absolutely. I think that's what when people fail that onboarding, I think they think Walmart thinks like regular trucking companies. Like, you know what, I got all this experience, I've proven I can do all this stuff. And trust me, I'm sure they miss out on great drivers with that. But you just can't go out there and just kind of just be like, you know what, my record will speak for itself, or it can't be 100% focused on it. But yeah, you gotta be all you can be out there. Especially, it's not like they give no second chances, while you're out there. From what I've heard, I don't know. And here's the thing. Walmart is in a different position. Like I said, I'm extremely happy with the money at Prime. Okay? But, when Warren Buffett is talking about stocks and shit, and younger people may not know this because you guys are all about speculating on, Bitcoin and all that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just too old to get into it. But when you buy stocks, you're wanting to buy stocks or companies that have a moat around them. And Walmart, as far as the trucking aspect of it, has a moat around it, meaning if freight goes down, you know what? Cut out other companies. You know what I mean? So freight will never. Truck Money BG, my boy over there wearing that postal uniform to Walmart. Hey, I am so happy for you, man. Seriously. But Walmart, as far as trucking goes, has a moat built around it. So how much freight would you have to lose for it to affect the drivers? Because all they do is cut out. First, they cut out like some of the drivers like Prime that only delivers, a few loads. Then, if it keeps dropping or whatever, now we're going to get rid of the dedicated, CR England, Crete, all that. So you ain't ever going to have to worry about no freight when you're at Walmart, because all they got to do is get rid of other companies. What's up, Elton? My man. All right. But it's so many people that haul Walmart. It's like 10 companies that haul Walmart trailers. That's what I'm saying. So if freight gets low, those are the companies that are out, not Walmart drivers. All they do is cut out Crete, cut out CR England, but first they would probably cut out, some of the people that aren't like dedicated to them. Yeah, it's only if they stop delivering to their stores that freight goes down. Yeah, and they can start, they could start sending their drivers out to pick up at some of these other places. They don't ever have to worry about freight at Walmart. They are good to go. Truck Money BG, hopefully you signed up for that 401k and put the max in. So Rakesh, that should be your next move, man. I don't know where you live. I'm not sure I want to be messing. Like, I couldn't do no Northeast Walmart or any of that stuff. I just don't know. Definitely not Colorado. Lenny, what is up? I'm just out here, man, running too hard. I think there's too much freight in the Midwest because drivers were stuck up in the Northeast or something like that. So I've been running a little bit harder than I want to run. Now, it's going to pay off on Friday, but right now I'm fucking tired. No, I haven't done no Christmas shopping. I'm taking my ass home for Christmas. Now, I can't assure myself I'm going to get there, but that is my goal. All right, 401k in stock match with Walmart. That's what I'm talking about. All right, Lenny, I'll check you out later, man. Rakesh has 6 to 8 more months. All right, go get that job, man. All right. For those of you guys, I just disconnected real quick. I got a call from the Peruvian trucker. Yeah, man, these short loads have been hitting real good. They will hit even better in about 4 more weeks. I'm trying to get in before they completely private. I'll be Northeast oh man, you could not literally pay me enough money to do Northeast like dedicated or anything like that. Elton. All right, Elton is one of my barbecue guys, man. Elton, put in the... I keep forgetting if you're from Norway or Sweden. Anyway, he's one of my old barbecue people from out in that part of the world. And I don't know if a lot of people barbecue and smoke meat and all that stuff out there, but he's one of them. So he has a little cooking channel, Elton's Barbecue Pit. Truck Money BG dropped off the Springfield Walmart last week. I'll be out in Springfield on the 10th, 11th, somewhere in there. All right, Trucker Man, how to do 401 as owner-operated prime. If you can talk about that. I don't know about that. Me and my wife, we have a Merrill Lynch account, and every now and then, every so often, I'm just like, throw $1,000 over there, throw 500, throw 2,000, and then I just start buying up stuff. Not too many speculative stocks. I mean, I have done some, but most of it's like Nvidia, AMD, Amazon, Meta, Coca-Cola, Tyson. It's just shit like that. So I just do that kind of on my own. I don't. And then I have 401ks from back in the day that are still hanging around. And my wife, she puts in the max 401k over at Costco. Norway. I knew it was one of them cold places. We might be colder than Norway right now. Man, it's like it's getting cold out here. It's not as I've been colder, but I don't have a bunk heater in my truck right now. So when it gets like down to like 17 degrees at night, man, it almost makes me want to start the truck. I haven't got cold enough where I wanted to spend that, you know, $1.50, $2 an hour to keep me warm and start the truck, but it's getting there. I don't remember if I answered your question, Elton, but I drive all over the country, but I do not like going up near New York City, Boston, none of that stuff. It's just a pain in the ass, and I prefer to stay off of the West Coast. I'll dabble in it, but I don't like getting stuck out there. Yeah, Tyree understands. May God be with anybody doing Northeast dedicated. Heck, all right. I grew up there. I know what you mean. As long as I have parking, I'm good. Man, I don't go up to the Northeast enough to know where reasonable parking is and all that kind of stuff. Like, if I'm like, let's say if I'm like Pennsylvania down, and all across the United States to the west, I know, like, you could give me a load and I'll be like, all right, I know where I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop here the first day, or where I know where I'm gonna stop, or I at least have an idea. I go up there and it's just like playing craps. Let me take a look at the time before 2:30. So if I leave now, or let's say 2:40, I'll get there almost close. But like I said, I'm not sure I want to get there right on time. Or I'm not sure I want to get there an hour early. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, man. Heck, Rod, I'm like looking at your TA sign right over there. You're by the Speedway and the Bob Evans and the Kentucky Fried Chicken and the Waffle House. All right, I see. I mean, you're right over there. I was like, Florida is nice. All right, let's see. Hey, go check out my man Peruvian Trucker. Truck Money BG trained him. And hey, if you're looking for somebody with some emotion in their videos, I damn near thought I was going to have to hand him some tissue in his last one. He damn near wanted to start crying. He was getting so emotional, talking about all the friends and stuff at Prime. Rakesh, hey, have fun up there in the Northeast, man. Peruvian Trucker just got dinged. I'm assuming he's talking about the camera. When was the last time you netted a 5K settlement? Netted? Netted 5,000. I would say that has been. There were times that I may have been able to do it, but I had multiple trucks on the road. I remember having a monster week one time, back last summer, but then I had problems with other trucks. So, it's been a while. I think last week I did about, or not last week, the week before last I did about 4. This week should be about 35, 38, somewhere in there. Don't see a lot of 5s out here, not nets. But I don't even need to make that much money. Like I say, I would trade some of this money to slow the fuck down a little bit. Like, they're where, like, I do not like running like this hard. And I think the difference between this and this where I'm at now and when I had all these damn trucks is that I actually can afford myself the opportunity to be tired when I didn't have that opportunity before, because it was always something. So now it's just like I just don't have to be like on edge all the time, like always ready to go. Okay. Elton's barbecue pit. Yeah, at least here in the southern parts of Norway. Well, I guess if you feel comfortable up there, then that shit. Definitely, if you feel comfortable up in that area, I would be up there. I mean, I know they got some Walmart stuff up there. Mark earlier, you going to NYC for 7,200 out of Chicago? It depends on where in New York. The couple times I've actually been in New York, I probably wouldn't do it for $7,200. See, the thing about New York is they tricked me, and it only happened. It happened. What? It happened. It took me 2 times to understand that I was dumb. See, I'm expecting if there's a load going to, let's say, Queens or the Bronx or whatever, it's gonna say Bronx, New York, or Queens, New York. The first time I got hoodwinked into doing it, it gave me some other city that sounded like it was upstate New York. I don't remember what that city was. You know, so I accept the load. I think I might have started driving it and everything. And then I stopped, you know, and then I looked at where it was, and that shit was like in Queens somewhere. And then the other one, I don't remember where. But now what I do, if I get a load and it's in New York, I just go into Google and I say such and such and such and such. Like, I think one time I got was Bohemia, New York or something like that, to Jersey City. And that'll give me kind of an idea of where I'm at. If it's a long ways away, then I'm good. But $7,200, if I had to do that load over again, in some places, you know, in New Jersey, like it's not worth 72. Like, my sanity is worth more than that. But there's the thing, working for Walmart, you can stay at most DCs, so it's not as bad. Okay, all right, I thought you were talking about working Northeast as a prime driver. So yeah, that's a totally different situation if you're working at Walmart and you could park at all those different Walmarts and stuff. My man misses Quick Trip with the K, although now I get Wawa. I've always been skeptical to pull into a Wawa just because I'm not that familiar with their layouts and stuff like that. Heck, Rod, yeah, I'm at the Jeffersonville Loves. I'm like, I'm pointing at your TA right over there. All right, Tyree's asking, can you stay at most stores if you're working for Walmart? I'm assuming that's for the Walmart people in here. I'm assuming you could. I tell you what, when I was in training, my trainer did such a gangster move. We were up in Boston, nowhere to park. We didn't have a load picking up till like the next morning. And we went to a Walmart, and it was right when COVID was kind of just around or whatever. Actually, maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. But we backed into a dock at Walmart like we were delivering there. It wasn't one of them 24-hour Walmarts. We just pulled in the dock, shut it down, went to sleep, woke up the next morning like 5 or 6 in the morning before anybody got there, and then bounced out. Alberta, Canada. That sounds cool to me. Truck Money BG, all he does is cry. Hey, Peruvian trucker, yeah, he was out there getting emotional on a brother. Mark got a 7K net, so that was probably what, 12,000, 13,000 gross. Heckrod got his bunk heater fixed the day before Thanksgiving. Hey, it wasn't that cold. So I got like this, those of you guys just came in. I got a thick ass sleeping bag. It's like a flannel, sleeping bag, all that kind of stuff. Then I got a thinner one, which would be one I use in the summer. But then I got this other blanket. So I had all those blankets on, and I was like warm. But then I got up in the middle of the night, and I was like, man, can I get away with just blowing out this trailer? So then once I broke the seal on them covers and got out and blew out my trailer and did all that stuff, then once I got back in there, it was like hard to get back cold or warm again. Hey, Tyree, they changed all those policies at Walmart. That's why they got everybody going over there now. They haven't changed nothing other than before it was like they were trying to babysit you like they do at Prime back a while ago. You can't talk on the phone. We got a camera, all this, all that. And people were like, you know what? Nah. Even Walmart, no, I ain't doing that. And it seems like once they got rid of that, everybody's like in line going over there. Definitely, if definitely a lot of people leaving Prime going to Walmart right now. Prime is amazing if you have a paid off truck. I'm very happy for you. Well, I appreciate it. And we're going to start slowing it down. I got like, I don't think I have 290,000 miles on this truck, and we're going to try to keep it pretty low. I'm not doing none of this staying out for months shit. It's going to be 4 weeks, maybe 5, and it's going to be some time. It ain't going to be no 4 days, 5 days, no shit like that. I put my dues in. I'm going to start taking a bunch of time. I got to let James know it's nothing personal. Don't be mad at me. All right, you could use the headset, just not when you're working at a DC, but driving, you're good. Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. Rusty Man, what's up? Yeah, it's pretty much the same here at Prime, just more parking and no inward camera. There's is outward only, and you have to slip. All right. Peruvian trucker, hey, I'm not bullying you talking about your sentimental nature. I was just pointing it out. And I agree. That's what I'm saying. I agree that you build your own family at Prime. Before, it was just like, boom. It might have been one big old happy family, but now you got to just kind of narrow it down to those, you kind of meet people and do that. And then that's kind of your family. But go look and see how many of your family members are out there waving at you when you drive by. All right. Tyree, I'm in the southeast Florida. Nearest Walmart DC is on the west side, so it won't work. Hear that. I've been looking at Costco, though. Does Costco have trucks? I don't know. I can tell you that the Costco health insurance is cheap as hell. Because I happen to be covered under the Costco health plan. I just refuse to work for Swift because that's who they work for. Or that's who works out of the DC. Yeah. I think between Schneider and Swift, for me, if I had to choose, this is just personally, if I had to choose between Knight and Swift, I would probably choose Swift just because they have a terminal in Denver, so that means a lot. Yeah, hey, Costco, if they, like I said, I don't know what their benefits are, Costco, or, driving for Costco, or what they are really at Walmart. I just know that that's pretty good. Now, as far as Costco goes, you got to work your way up from the bottom there. You don't just go work at Costco and start off, like I'm sure maybe a little bit, but driving is different. I'm just talking about my wife. It's you kind of got to work your way up out there. It's not like you just go there and start banging right off the bat. Heck rod, okay, never use the bottle. He's talking about when I jump my fifth wheel. I just don't want to mess up my hammer as far as getting that grease all over it. So a bottle works just fine. Yeah, I'm on the other side of the overpass. I'm right over here. Hey, what time's your appointment, Rod? Let me double check. This is why I'm never late. I always feel like I'm paranoid about being late. 16, 15, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 4:15. What time is it now? 3. So I could technically get over there. I might just leave now or within the next 5 minutes. You got to have 2 years experience for Costco. I'm at a year and a few months. Yeah. Oh my God. I would never, I'm not sure I would ever get a Volvo just because I have never really seen that many Volvos where there wasn't a fucking panel rattling on the side of it. But them new Volvos, man, I saw one exit. I saw a brand new Volvo. I don't know if it's a 25 or 26 or whatever it is, but that bad boy looked nice. If the interior didn't have some of they kind of remind me of a GM car with big ass knobs and shit. If it's the same ones I'm thinking about, but that exterior was nice. It kind of looked a little bit like a Peterbilt, to be honest with you. More Peterbilt than like the old Volvos. Anyway, at least that was my impression. I don't know. My wife's not union, so I don't know anything about that as far as that part of or the drivers go. Walmart is going away with all internal outside cameras. I'm telling you, Trans Am, I heard from a reliable source, from somebody who worked at Trans Am, they got rid of their cameras because they was just like, man, these cameras are just putting us in a bad situation as far as liability concerns. We're taking out the outside, inside, and as a matter of fact, we're getting rid of the ones on the side because they could see the driver's hand. So I heard that was just I think they got hammered because of the cameras one time, and they were like, yeah, we don't need that. Heck, Rod, what time's your appointment, though? I heard they could turn it into a drop and hook, too. I was talking to my man, Romaine the trucker. If you watch him, check out his YouTube channel. He delivered out here, and he had to take a 34 because he couldn't get an empty trailer. And I'm not sure I'd be that upset about that, to be honest with you. shit, let me check something out. Let me check something out. All right, so anyway, what did you just get? You still haven't told me what time your appointment is. I just got them. It's not bad. I was against it heavy. What did you just get? And what time is your damn appointment? Medulla oblongata. Do you scale all of your loads? I haven't scaled a load. I probably scaled. As a matter of fact, I could probably think about how many times I've scaled a load. I scaled when I first got my first Peterbilt. I filled up my truck, filled up the reefer full of def and everything, and scaled that empty just so I could see what the maximum load is I could haul. So whatever that number was, I subtracted it from 80,000. That gives me my max load, so I can automatically know if it's too heavy or not just by looking at that according to the paperwork. So I scaled that. I think you know what? I've always scaled for a purpose. I scaled because I knew I was heavy like a couple times, once in Colorado, once in Memphis. And when I was in Memphis, I was like 10,000 pounds heavy. I think I was like 4,000 pounds heavy on my... I just had to get reworked in Fort Lupton, Colorado. I scaled... Actually, I think I was a rookie and I didn't trust my shit. So I did scale one time, I think, in Oklahoma. I've scaled at different shippers and receivers. If they got to scale, I'll run over the scale. If they got to scale at Prime, I'll run over the scale. But I don't just get a load and I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to scale this load. Because I trust the gauge on my truck more than I do the trailer gauge. But if I'm 42,000, 43,000, I look at my front scale and I'm like at, if I dial it in at 34, I know I got a few hundred pounds there. And if I'm there, I gotta be fine on the back. And if I'm not fine, then I just take that risk. I mean, I'm not out here worried about a perfect record for the rest of my life. So, and a lot of times, scaling a load, man, sometimes that's just
Attention, a new important message has arrived.
Taking me out of route. Oh my God. Here comes a proposed next load. I swear to God, I'm going to be pissed. What's the date today? I am going to be pissed off. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this other damn phone I got. Oh shit. These guys are asking me to pick up another load. Oh no. I'm about to turn down this pre-plan right now. Pick up another load at Miller Brewing. No. Going to somewhere in Michigan for a delivery tomorrow morning. Wait, let me make sure I'm right. Is today the 2nd? Yes, today's the 2nd. No. Give me just a second. Shit. Now we'll see what he comes back with. I would not like that pre-plan. I prefer to be available tomorrow morning. We'll see how that works. The new QC is so fast, I feel like I work for a whole different company. Man, I don't care. I'm still part of the resistance. Saya, I've heard good things about them. I just won't work there. But yeah, all right. I forgot about the DC and for pay kind of low for Costco here in Cali, $32. All right, have you tried Frank Sinatra, Jack Daniels, or not your thing? I'm more of, I mean, Jack Daniels is technically whiskey, but falls in the guidelines of most bourbon, bourbon and stuff like that. Jack Daniels, outside of that black bottle number 7, that is trash. I couldn't even get through that. I'd have to see what it is, but typically, I won't drink anything less than 100 proof if I'm going to be drinking whiskey or bourbon. So if it falls in that category, I could try it depending on what the mash bill is on it. But Jack Daniels does make some good stuff on their higher end. Trucker Scooby-Doo said as long as your mud flap is at the middle end of the last pallet, but sometimes you don't know what the last pallet is, and I think that could be wrong as well. Beer is heavy. Beer is always heavy. It's worse than soda. I don't want that load. They're telling me as soon as I get that load off of me, then I gotta pick up another load today, go run that out. As soon as I know I can't make this appointment, right? 14, maybe I could make the appointment, but then pick up there and then turn right around and be up in Michigan, 261 miles away by 5:30 in the morning. I just got up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm good for 36 hours, 34 hours. But not any, I don't want to do it. So I'm going to see what he has to say. I'm about to have to get out of here. No, I'm not a fan of that Scotch. Man, bourbon, there's so many good bourbons out there. Scotch is just, I used to be really into Scotch, and for some reason maybe I just was having it too much, but I just fell out of that flavor profile. I've never had Bibbs and Tucker. But hey, I got to get out of here, get over here to this receiver. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Your appointment's in 1990. I'm about to head out now. I got a 4:30 or 4:15 appointment. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. No hippie trucking transportation. Comment, subscribe. I'm out.